This is section 3, the farmer. Cleaning the Ganges isn't just a question of controlling what is going into the river, but also a question of controlling what is being taken out. The river is a crucial source of water for a vast area. Its basin covers more than 1 million square kilometers. That's 390,000 square miles. And it is home to more than 40% of India's 1.3 billion strong population. All along the length of the river, you see channels siphoning the flow for irrigation and for drinking water. Most of Delhi's water, for example, comes to the city in two great canals, one from the Ganges and the other from its main tributaries, the Yamuna. And the water taken directly from the main flow is just one part of the problem. More worrying still is the water that is taken from the ground. The vast plains either side of the Ganges are the breadbasket of India. These hugely fertile flatlands have produced a food that has sustained India for millennia. The rich alluvial soil is very productive, so long as farmers keep it well irrigated, says Rajesh Bajpai of the WWPF. He's another passionate campaigner and has spent more than 2 decades working with farmers on these plains. His mission? To reduce the amount of water they use. It doesn't take long to dig a well here. The water is just 330 feet or so down, so a team can do it in a couple of days of hot, hard labor. I should know, I helped dig one. Now you should be able to pause this video and go to the article and watch this video of our author helping dig a well. Once the well is dug, there is no restriction on how much water farmers can take. The only limit is the cost of the fuel needed to pump it out of the ground. And since virtually every one of the more than 200 million farmers in the plain of the Ganges now has a well, vast amounts of water are being used. As a result, say hydrologists, the water table is falling, in some places very dramatically. Remember, it's always okay to pause and look up some unknown words. I see a couple here that you might want to check out. Here's some pictures of farmers. In 2012, scientists at India's National Geographical Research Institute said Delhi's groundwater could dry up in just a few years. So much water is now being taken that some once free-flowing parts of the river are now sluggish or even stagnant during the dry months. Effectively, they have become nothing more than an open sewer. It doesn't help that the country is in the grip of a devastating drought after the failure of the monsoon for 2 years in a row. But Bajpai believes he has at least the beginning of a solution. He leads me across the field and shows me a magnificent old diesel engine with a huge cast iron flywheel. A farmhand controls it to life, and it emits a series of throaty coughs, puffing out filthy clouds of diesel smoke. The thick hose attached to it throbs and swells as the pump begins to suck up water from deep underground. I follow the hose down the lane and into the next field where the cool, clean water pump is drawing out pores into one of the neat little sections the farmer, Sri Ram, has created by heaping up the muddy soil of the field into a series of dams. Here's a picture of what he's talking about. As each section is flooded, it breaches the dam wall and floods another. It turns out that this system is far more effective than flooding the whole field at once. This is the person who he was speaking of who's doing this. We used to use lots of water before. Now we irrigate the field with much less, the farmer says. My water use is down by almost half, and you know what? We are still getting good crops. It sounds like they found a good solution to the problem. It is a pleasure to see how proud Ram is of his efforts. All the farmers here are also doing it, he says. It is good for everybody. We spend less on water and get good yields, and that means we save money. He smiles broadly. Similar water-saving efforts are now being replicated across India, but many economists believe that a more fundamental solution is needed. They argue that farmers need to be incentivist to value water properly. Incentivize, you might want to look that word up. That would mean stripping away the plethora of subsidies, another word to look up, and particularly those that support the cultivation of water-intensive crops such as sugarcane and cotton. Or, more radical still, farmers could actually pay for the water they use. Wow. But that is very unlikely to happen. With 2/3 of the Indian population still dependent on agriculture, farmers are a crucial political consistency, and one Indian politicians are careful to cultivate. Constituency is the word. You might want to look that one up. This is the end of section 3. Now you'll move on to section 4.